like problems with refugees. We see that there are problems, but we don't have a real problem with this issue.
Pedersen and his wife took in a family of Syrian refugees for a few months, though some people here wondered if the strangers would fit in.
There were definitely people ready to help. Our next-door neighbors came over right away and asked what the people needed, like clothes. There were a great number of people who didn't get involved. What they might have said never reached my ears. No one dared. That may be the difference here. But some were definitely opposed and wondered, what do they want here of all places?
The Halleck is thinly populated, so it's easy to avoid those you don't want to encounter. The appearance of this family didn't trigger a refugee crisis?
We didn't hear about anything at any rate. And I think it was a good experience for our children and for ourselves. And I think also for the school.
Like Chancellor Merkel says, we can do it.
Absolutely.
So you'll vote for Merkel?
Nobody said the others can't do it.
Meanwhile, Gerd Caro and his sheep still haven't come to an understanding.
Now I have to climb over the fence. No, it's not working. I have to calm things down here and then bring them their feed. Then things will work. That's the Alpha and Omega.
Åland, the Halleck neighboring Langenäs. The only ways to reach it are by trolley on rails or barefoot through the mud flats. If there's not much going on Langenäs, says Hans Richard, on Åland, there's nothing at all. Including no election campaign.
Election campaign? That's a good one. We don't have real election campaigns here on the Halleck Islands. I haven't seen any posters, at least never on Åland, and not on Langenäs either. Where would you hang them? It's windy here, lots of wind, and rain. I've never seen a campaign poster here.
Hans Richard is one of 17 eligible voters on Åland. Åland used to have its own polling station, but now everyone votes by mail. What issues would actually affect this 1 square kilometer islet? Certainly not security. Here, people don't even lock their doors. No one cares enough about Åland to even bother with it. Neither the Chancellor nor Martin Schulz were here?
Nope.
The Free Democrats? The Greens? The Left? You've been forgotten.
I don't know that we're forgotten. I mean, why go to great lengths for 17 votes? Maybe a camera team at the most.
But only maybe. The people of Åland would be glad to present their picturesque church. Stand in front of the altar, maybe. Talk about some of those problems that concern them.
What's concretely important to us is environmental policy. Do the dikes have to be raised, or what's happening here in case of floodwaters? Things like that are relevant to us. All the plastic stuff in the ocean, we're confronted with it daily. That does interest us.
And that decides how you vote.
I can only speak for myself. That's what determines my decision.
And what's a typical voter turnout here?
100%.
But what's not 100% is agreement. At least not on Langenäs, the main Halleck Island. Here people do conduct political debates about the ocean and how much its level will rise. Every house here is built on an artificial hill. They're called wharfs. In the fall, when the storm tides come, people hope that the wharfs are high enough to protect people and livestock. The innkeeper, Gerd Caro, is rather conservative, but he's convinced that climate change has come to his Halleck.
In the years I've lived here, we've noticed that the ocean has risen. And also, very interestingly, that the floods and winds are all more powerful, more sudden, and more aggressive.
One person here doesn't believe the sea is rising. Green Party member Johan Petersen, of all people.
The highest water level ever recorded on the northern Frisian coast was in 1825. We have to note that. Point 2 is the wharfs, the houses here. This one is from 1967, and this house hasn't seen any water since then. So that alone clearly argues against rising sea levels. It's quite simply nonsense.
The people of Langeness are good at arguing about that when they meet, and quite clearly there are right-wing populists here too. The only explicit political demand on the Halleck is at the gate to the cow pasture, where someone's calling